Good morning everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Steve Chatfield and I'm the man behind the cameras when we're filming these. I should have had a shave, I just noticed. Sorry about that. Anyway, the next video is fishing the method, and in a full disclosure, not only am I a member of Pulborough, I'm also an ambassador for Cadence Fishing UK, and I have been asked to bring along a Cadence rod so the person can try it with a view to buy. So I'd just like to make sure there's no misunderstanding. So let's get on with the video. Hang on, go.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm a member of Pulborough Angling Society. I'm on the committee. If you are on the Facebook pages, I'm the person that runs the Facebook pages. But generally, my preferred method of fishing is feeder fishing. I fish a lot of matches, and predominantly in those matches I will fish the feeder rather than the, most people will fish the pole, but I like to have a rod and line, so generally fish feeder, and because of that I fish small venues like we're here today, and my preferred method is the feeder on a short rod. So I have in my rod bag 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot and 11 foot feeder rods for smaller venues, and the reason I use the smaller rods is because if you can see here over the other side, there's kind of a lot of overhanging trees.
Yep. The
shorter your rod, the less of an arc you've got.
Yeah.
So the easier it is to get underneath these trees. So for here, because I know the venue and it's a fantastic venue full of carp, I know I want to be as close as I can to that far bank. And if you're using something like a 12-foot rod, a lot of places over on that far bank aren't accessible to that. Because of your arc, you will get caught in these trees, but by using a little 8-foot rod, I can get in under all of those trees.
So you can go underneath the overhanging branches instead of
yeah,
trying to
pretty
drop
much
through.
I mean, obviously you still have to be careful, and when a lot of people cast, they might have a 4-foot, 5-foot tail between the bottom of the rod. So, but because I'm trying to get under bushes and trees, I'll only have a kind of a couple of foot, just so that it doesn't swing right over. So I'm kind of more. So it's a shallower cast,
more of an arrow rather than a loop.
Absolutely.
Lob.
And just having that smaller sort of rod just makes it so much easier, and so much more accurate, because a lot of small venues like this, when you're fishing them, it's all about the accuracy of the cast. You could cast anywhere in here and sit there all day and not catch a fish, but if you cast in the right places, you'll catch lots. That's how this place that's how this place is. Anywhere on that far bank, even around the other side, there will always be fish cruising up and down those banks, because that's the far bank, which is kind of wildy over there, and it's quite undercut. So although you might think you're right up to the edge, actually it probably goes a little bit further under that bank where the carp in particular feels safe.
Well, that was apparent.
Shout when you're ready.
It's recording now. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like the bend in the rod.
Yeah, it goes pretty much down to the butt. What little rod this is.
So
all you need, it absorbs every sort of pull they've got.
Yeah.
It just bends forever.
Is this your first one, Steve?
This is my first carp. I've had a little skimmer before this.
That's right.
And that's the good thing with this. I mean, that's why I like this rod.
Yeah.
It's small 8 foot, gets under the bushes. Then I'm fishing dead opposite in between those two bushes.
Right.
And you can see little skimmer bites, but also you can handle decent fish.
Oh, nice fish.
That's my little 8 foot rod, £6 Daiwa Hyper Sensor line.
Yeah.
Don't need any more than £6. That's enough, thank you.
Oh, famously hooked in the landing net.
Yeah.
This hook unhooked itself. Nice fish. It's got to be 6, isn't it? 6 or 7.
I would say, yeah, I reckon that's about £6.
Yeah. Very nice, mate. Lovely.
So fish.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
£6 line and a rod that will bend and take all that,
Takes all the
absorb
power.
all the pressure
Yeah.
from you.
So you're
That's all you
fishing just a flat method for you?
Yeah, so I've just got flat. I mean, these are just cheap ones off. I bought a pack off eBay, 15 grams.
Yeah.
Just a little quick stop
Yeah.
bead again. They're just cheap ones off of
Yeah.
eBay. Buy them by the. I think I buy them about 100 in a pack. I'm using. Actually got it here. Size 16. Guru.
Yeah. I just stopped. He started to get a few knocks, so I was filming it, and I said, "Oh, it's stopped now." And then as soon as I stopped, it went. What's got caught up on your line there, Steve?
Some braid here. So I was using braid.
Some braid. Now, braided lines, hook lengths are all banned at Goose Green. Do not use braided lines, and all your hooks must be barbless.
No need for it.
No need.
Like I say.
If you get caught using braid, you'll be thrown out the club. You've been warned.
£6.
About 3 years ago, we had a bit of a disaster on this lake. That bank and this bank, which is the one I'm standing on, obviously, after 3 cold, wet winters and 3 hot summers, started to slide into the lake. Consequently, we had to get machinery in, and where the banks were beautifully undercut and you could catch down the edge, we had to insert posts and rebuild the bank, which meant we lost the chance of fishing down the edge, and as you can see, it's dead straight. Solutions were, between the pegs we had floating islands right against the bank. Now these floating islands are pegged off the bank so you can't get caught underneath, and they're well worth fishing. They really are. Very quietly and very subtly, and I'll show you a way of doing it. Carry on. Yeah, I was going to say that was apparent about 3 years ago when we had to have all this bank along here and down the other side. Unfortunately, after the winters that we had that were very wet and then the hot summers, we had huge cracks, and the bank along there, it literally started to slide in the lake, so we had to come back and get machinery in. But unfortunately they're not overhung, they're not undercut now, the banks, because they're dead straight and held up with pilings. But the solution was that the club have installed floating islands which are secured from the bank, and they're perfect for fishing down the edge and underneath. Just thought I'd drop that in.
Yeah, I mean, I think particularly on this venue, I mean, obviously if you're a member of Goose Green, you'll know how fantastic it is, and you'll know that there's different lakes and different methods work better on different lakes.
True.
The one we're on today, Heron, which is predominantly your carp, you know, and your carp fishing from, you know, we're talking £2 to, I think the biggest is probably £16, £17, something like that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them, so, you know, when we fish matches on the Goose Green complex, if you're fishing on the Heron Lake, then predominantly you're going for carp, because that's what's going to give you the weight. Now, again, a lot of people will fish the pole here and have, you know, really good weights down the edges. In particular, absolutely fantastic.
I personally quite agree with you, but I've always found down the edges is more afternoon, evening, towards the end of the match, the fish move in.
But on a lot of matches, a couple of fish down the edge, and they tend to be bigger fish down the edge. You know, a couple of decent fish down the edge can get you sort of placed in the match.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will fish across on the pole, but like I say, for me,
it's easier to fish a rod.
I automatically pick the feeder up because I know that if I can get close to that far bank accurately, then I've got a good chance of having a really good day. You know, and as we've already found, I've only had one carp, but I've had a couple of skimmers. So, you know, even if you're not catching the carp over on that far bank, you will and can have a good day on skimmers. So, again, you know, that's the beauty of this rod that I use here, is that it's so sensitive and so bendy that I can see those skimmer bites.
Well, I think that was a brilliant. I hope that come out on the film actually, because that you could tell it was not going to be a carp.
Yeah. But again, you know, you have to. A lot of the time, you have to be careful because I'm using micro pellets on the feeder. If you get a lot of fish, small fish going in, then they'll start. You know, they're taking the pellets, and the tip will wobble, and the tendency is to sort of kind of strike at that, and you come back with nothing.
Sit on your hands, best tip I've heard.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's, you know, I mean, that's what I love. I love the feeder fish. I love seeing that tip wobble and sort of, you know, hold. There it is.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for that, Steve.
Okay.
There's no excuses.
Oh, hang on then. Oh yeah, he's posing.
That's
I've got
it,
a
that's
posy fish.
yeah, there you go. Well done, Gail. Hey, who said there's no fishing Kingfisher?
Well, catch 10 more of those, we'll be alright.